Hey everybody, you're watching CAD Roll Hunter. I just purchased a collection for $100. I've been going through that, and today we're going to look at a whole bunch of US cents that were in a mainly Canadian collection, including what I think is a whole whack of US wheat cents. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, this is James and you're watching my channel CAD Roll Hunter. If you've been following along my channel recently, you know that I recently purchased a pretty significant collection of coins for $100. A lot of it was pocket change. I was rolling up. I wanted to see, did I get my money's worth? And I got well more than $100 in face value. Got over 10 pounds of copper included in that. Even found some silver, but we didn't have time to go through a whole bunch of American cents, and they've already been meticulously separated out, for the most part, by a collector. Some that appear to be bright and shiny. We've got some wheat cents for sure in these bags, some modern ones. A whole bag of what appears to be US steel wheat cents, which is really exciting. All look to be in original condition, not replated or anything like that. And then this guy right here, which looks to be completely full of wheat cents. So we got to tackle these. I think what I'm going to do is start with the bags that are not the wheat pennies. We'll get those out of the way, and then we'll tackle what we can see for sure are wheat cents. So these three bags here appear to be more modern cents. We've got some Lincoln Memorial cents, even some Shield cents. So you never really know what a collector is doing when they collect coins and separate them out. I don't know if they were looking for things that were really just pulling out any American coins, or ones they thought had value, or ones they thought were in better condition. I'm going to open this up and see if there's anything in here that is worth mentioning. And it looks like we're going to get some older copper in here as well. So let's take a peek. So this first bag doesn't look to be anything special. It is a mix of zinc cents and some older copper cents. Not wheat cents, I don't think. These are Lincoln Memorial cents. So I'll separate the copper out for sure. But we're definitely going to want to take a look and scope anything like the 99s, 2000s, for instance. We've already found a 2000 wide AM in this collection, but it wasn't actually part of these US cents. It was just loose with a bunch of other coins. So I'm going to start separating this out. Of course, I've got my red book handy here. I've got the 2022 version, so it's not the most up to date, but it's going to help me make sure I don't miss any of the key dates or the major varieties. I know there are a lot of varieties that aren't listed in here, but we're going to want to keep our eyes open, for instance, for the wide AM, close AM varieties, the ones that are less common. And if you see anything that I've missed while we're going through this, please let me know in the comments. I'm not the most knowledgeable in US coins. I come across US coins fairly regularly in my Canadian coin roll hunts, but I don't usually come across big amounts like this. And so if I miss something, let me know. So nothing crazy in those, actually nothing really interesting at all, except perhaps that 18 penny that you can see there. But we got 24 cents in copper. And on the other side, I've got 44 cents in zinc. A few that are just a little bit nicer than the average. I'll put aside and just see if they might upgrade in my collection. Perhaps, perhaps not. And we'll get into these next ones here. Well, here's a pretty nice looking 1981. This was struck with misaligned dies. You can see how thick the rim is at the top on this coin. If I flip it over, the rim looks balanced on the reverse side. So pretty shiny, nice 1981. I'll set that aside. It's really just a minor variety or error, not going to fetch much of a premium, but it's a nice condition anyhow for 1981. And once again, nothing doing there. 26 cents, 3 of them were copper, but nothing to write home about. So I'm not sure what this collector was doing sorting these out, except maybe they were just pulling US cents out of their Canadian change. Who knows? We got some more bags. These ones, I promise, are going to be interesting because these all appear to be wheat cents. We got one more that might just be Lincoln Memorial cents. We'll go through that. So just 37 cents in there, and some of them are pretty trashy. So I don't know what this collector was doing. There's a little bit of copper in here, but there were 2 wheat cents, both of them very common, 1944. And that's a good transition because I think now we're going to be moving in exclusively, hopefully, to wheat pennies. So I think I'll clear away the stuff that I've got here, and I want to set it up so that as we go through the wheat cents It looks like there's a bag here of 50s and a bag of 40s, and there looks to be a bag of some of the stuff that's older. So what I'm going to do is put 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, teens, if I'm that lucky, in this order and see what kind of a spread we get. This jar here, I don't know what's in here. This could be all 40s and 50s for all I know. I'm hoping that there's going to be some interesting older stuff mixed in here, hopefully, so fingers crossed. But I'll get this other stuff out of the way and we'll get right into these wheat cents. I've got an exciting announcement to share with you. Lighthouse Canada is hosting their first ever Numismatic and Philatelic Fair in collaboration with Nuphilex. It's happening on Sunday, August the 18th from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It's happening in the Montreal suburb of Dorval, Quebec. There will be over 12 dealers, an extended assortment of Lighthouse products, some freebies for attendees, and exclusive storage tours. And that's not all. Lighthouse Canada will be introducing the first edition of a guide to collecting the Canadian coinage of Queen Elizabeth II, Types, Varieties, and Errors by Christian Houle and Serge Pelletier. This book will be launched at the event, and Christian Houle will be present at the event to sign copies of that new book. For decades, he's been collecting Canadian coins with errors and varieties and has become quite passionate about them. This book is going to be a go-to resource for you. I guarantee it. I'm so excited about this. There are also going to be lots of other surprises as well. So if you're in the Montreal area, you want to check that out. It's the Lighthouse Canada first Numismatic and Philatelic Fair in collaboration with Nuphilex on August 18th from 10 to 5. If you're in the Montreal area, you want to check that out. So this first bag here does appear to be all from the 50s, but not exclusively wheat cents. I see here, here's a first year Lincoln Memorial 1959. So it is all 50s, it appears. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to sort it out by year, stack them up at the top of the board there, and then get into the next bag. Almost all of those were from the 50s, just two exceptions. There was a 1945 and also a 1960D in there. But we have every year from 1950 all the way across to 1959, that first year Lincoln Memorial. We're missing just a couple or a few of the Philadelphia minted coins. We don't have the 50p, the 54p, or the 58p, but we got all of the Denver minted coins, but nothing from San Francisco. So next up is this little pile here, and these appear to all be in the 40s, and so I'll get them laid out as well. And that bag was all from the 40s, and we got every year of the copper cents. Of course, the 1943s were all steel. We've got those right here. We got every single year, mostly in the Philadelphia. We did get a couple of San Francisco, the 44 and the 46, and I checked and that 46 is not a 46S over D. Now, I've actually found a handful of US steel cents in my Canadian coin roll hunts, if you can believe it. But I've never seen so many steel cents all in one place. I'll separate these all out into P, D, and S. We'll see what we got. So there's a big stack of steelies. Really surprisingly, the vast majority from Philadelphia. We only got a couple Denver, and then a really small stack of San Francisco. The Philadelphia were minted in the greatest numbers, but not in this kind of ratio. It was about 684 million Philadelphia, 217 million Denver, and 191 million San Francisco. So, of course, what you find can definitely be skewed by where you are. And in this part of Canada, we would be pretty close to Philadelphia, not so close to San Francisco or Denver. So this last bag here looks to be assorted, but there's definitely some older ones in here, but I do see one from the 40s there. So I'm going to take these out and then scope them. My eyes are not good right now, and see if we've got any oldies. I'm hoping I can fill some spots in my wheat cent album if we can find anything that's harder to find or scarce. I'm just partway through that bag, and we've got a range of things from the 30s here. We've got some in the 20s. Even a run in the teens. There's a 1927S, a little bit of a better date, I'd say. We've even got a 1909 as our oldest, not the VDB. But I'm bringing you in because you got to see this. Check this out. Under the scope here, I've got a coin. This is a 1912S. This is a semi-key date in the Lincoln wheat cents. If I check out the red book here, the 1912S, even in a G4, is a $16 coin. So that's a great pickup. This might very well just be a G4, but more importantly, I've got my Lincoln cent album here. And when I go to the first page, That 1912S is an empty spot. I've got a few spots in here. Hopefully we'll fill more than this, but that's awesome. A 1912S semi-key date wheat cent in this crazy coin collection. Awesome. So we got 7 in the teens, 2 with mint marks, including that 1912S, which is wicked. And of course, our oldest was this 1909. We'll just kind of put it in the teens row here at the very beginning. And so we got a wide spread variety of some older stuff here. Really excited to see what is in this bad boy. Is it all going to be 40s and 50s? Are we going to find anything older? We won't know until we spill this baby open. That is a lot of wheat cents, and there's a Steely in there too, it looks like, as well. So, oh, more than a couple. There's a Lincoln Memorial. Maybe that's another 59, but I think what I'm going to have to do is just kind of take a handful at a time. I'm going to continue to place them on the board here. I'm expecting that this is mostly going to be 40s and 50s in such a big container. We'll find out, and as I find interesting or older things, I will pull you in. So I don't know if this is completely representative, but of the first 5 coins that I pulled out, 4 of them were in the 30s, 1 was from the 40s, and then the next one I pulled out under here, it's a pretty worn looking 1911, so it looks like we're going to have a mix of dates in here for sure. So I'm a little over halfway through this tube of cents, and they have mostly been wheat cents. Small exception, there's some early 60s Lincoln Memorial cents that probably were BU when they were put in here. They're starting to show some brown bits, but surprisingly, the majority of these are not from the 40s and 50s. The majority of these so far have been from the 30s. So here's the 30s here. Here's the 20s. We got a bunch, particularly in the later 20s. And still a whole bunch in the teens, and some with mint marks in those early years. So pretty exciting there. You can see an early 60s that's bright and shiny. Actually, that looks like it's a 59. And I'm still going to make my way through here. If I find any more key dates or semi-key dates or anything like that, I will let you know, and we'll do a tally and see how many wheat cents did we get in this huge tube, and did we find anything else valuable or interesting. Still making my way through. We're getting closer to the end there, but I just wanted to show you we've got 24 Wheaties here from the teens, and of course this 1909. That is really incredible. A whole bunch. Like, I occasionally come across wheat cents, but I've never gotten my hands on such a huge lot. Look at this huge stack of 1919s. I know that's a pretty common year for wheat cents in the teens, but a 1919 wheat cent, and there's got to be 10 of them there. That's over 100 years old. That's just crazy. And if I look into the 20s, there's a bunch, and a whole whack in the 30s, particularly the late 30s and the Philadelphia minted ones. And then, of course, in the 40s and 50s, even more in this huge tower of Steelies, which is pretty awesome. Still making my way through. I think there's a few older ones in there yet to be discovered. So here's one that's pretty interesting. This is a pretty beat up 1919. It's scratched. It looks like somebody put their initial on it. But when I flip it over, and it's got some corrosion, there's actually something interesting happening. I'm going to put it under the scope. It looks like we've got a lamination error with a little bit of a peel, and it's kind of retained some part of it that's peeled off. We'll get a closer look. It's in terrible condition, but it's just a really interesting coin. Here it is under the scope. It's definitely a lamination error. You can see that the die sort of cracked here. It's sort of split, peeled off, but you can see that it's been struck with the design here. And then part of the coin, the surface of the coin that looks to have almost peeled off, I can't tell if it's bent back over the coin. It looks like it might have done that, or at least it looks like it might have also wanted to peel off but was retained. This is a 100-year-old coin with some pretty interesting features. In this condition, it's not going to be worth much of anything. It looks like it's all scratched up, but I'm probably going to keep it because that's actually a really cool error or variety, if you will, and definitely pretty neat. All right, this is quite the overview. Here's all of our teens, all of our 20s here, our 30s here, our 40s, including that big stack of Steelies, and then in the back 3 rows, our 50s. This is the P, D, and the S. So we got the 50 PDS, 51 PDNS, 52, we just got the P and the D. We didn't get an S. 53, we got the PD and one S. 54 and 54S are harder to come by dates, and we didn't get either of them. We got the Denver. 55, no double dies, unfortunately, but we got the P and the D. We didn't get the S. And then from 56, 57, 58, 59, we got the P and the D. There were no S's minted. We didn't get the 58, just the regular 58. But that's a pretty close to being complete set from the 50s. And then we move on to the 40s and check out that big towering stack of steel cents, all Philadelphia there. But we got 40 P and S, 41 P, 42 P and D, 43 P, D and S, 44, a big stack of 44 P, D and S, 45 P, D and S, 46 P, D and S, 47 P, D and S. We got 48 P, 49 P, and some 48 S's. Into the 30s, some 1930s. This is a 32 Denver. Then we got 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and a big stack of 39s. We got a 38 and a 39S here as well. Into the 20s, 1920, 1923, 24. We didn't get the 25, but we got 26, 27, 28, 29. We also got this 27S and the 29S. And then all these ones in the teens. Well, there's that 1909 to start us off. We got 1910, some 11s, that key date 1912S, that's going to fill a spot in my book. That's awesome. 1914, 16, 17, 18, a huge stack of 19s there, and then a 19S as well. I'm going to have to count them all up and see how many we got from each of the decades, but this is just the biggest lot of wheat cents I've ever had the opportunity to look through. And at the outset, I thought these could all be from the 40s and 50s. You see these wheat cent lots that people buy online all the time, like mixed dates, could be anything from 1909 and up, and they're usually just 40s and 50s. But this collector was collecting lots of stuff, and surprisingly few from the 50s compared to even, like, say, the 40s, the 50s, 40s, the 30s, the 20s. Lots of variety and really cool stuff. I'm going to look through really carefully to see, are there any double dies that I should be looking for? Are there any RPMs? They might be hard to tell. Some of these coins are in pretty poor shape. Some of them are clean. Some of them are damaged. So RPMs will be particularly hard to find in these conditions. And I'll see if there are any others in here that might upgrade or add to my album. So there's one more look just to confirm. This is our sole addition to the album, this 1912S. Just wanted to get a close look at that. It's pretty slick, but it's a semi-key date. It is over 100 years old, over 112 years old, and it's certainly a great coin to find, one I didn't have. My album is already looking pretty good. I got lots of coins in here. I've done some pretty awesome trades with both Greg and Nicole to fill up a lot of these spots in here, including some really brilliant ones. Look at that, 1944 is awesome. But I've got lots of red cents in even the 40s and the 50s and even back into the 30s. But there's that 1912S spot. We're going to fill that up. All right, this is going to be harder and harder to do as I move forward. Fewer spots in here, but there it is, filled up 1912S. All right, I have counted everything up, and we got an incredible haul of wheat cents. We got 406 in total. That's the equivalent of over 8 full rolls of wheat cents. Just awesome. We got 27 from 09 to 19. We got 33 in the 20s, 70 in the 30s. We got 56 steel cents from 1943 and 125 copper cents from the 40s. And then we got 95 copper cents from the 50s, all Lincoln wheat cents. Pretty awesome. There was a small handful. We got another 21 cents in face value in 59 and early 60s that were in there. I'm going to have to do a tally then. I'll show you on screen exactly what we ended up with face value for this incredible lot of coins over these last 3 videos. And I'll count up all the copper, including what we got earlier in this video, so we can add that to our copper tally. Let me know in the comments what you think of this huge lot of wheat cents and how I ultimately did on this $100 purchase. Again, if you haven't seen the first 2 videos, the links for those videos are in the description below, so check those out. We got lots of really cool stuff, but this was pretty awesome for me to go through a whole bunch of wheat cents. I find them infrequently in my Canadian coin roll hunts. I would never find them in this kind of volume, absolutely. And it's always exciting to find something that is as old as some of these. Counting face value only tells us part of the story, because there's, I think, a lot of numismatic value in some of these. Some of these are harder to come by. Even in pretty rough condition, some of these older ones might still be worth 50 cents each, something like that. Some of the other ones, maybe not so much. But there are a few in here that might be just a little bit better dates, and some of them might be in nicer condition. But in any case, we definitely got our money's worth in this $100 purchase. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, CAD Roll Hunter, go ahead and do that. I would really appreciate it. You'll find it when all of my videos come out. And of course, have a look at the memberships. If you want to support the channel, you want to support the work that I'm doing, putting out these videos for you, then have a look at that too. And of course, hit the like button. That's great. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. The sponsors of today's video are Lighthouse Canada and the Charlton Press. Lighthouse Canada is the leading supplier of high-quality numismatic supplies in Canada, and the Charlton Press is the leading publisher of coin and paper money catalogs and price guides for Canadian collectors. Go check out their online stores today and use the exclusive discount code CRH20 for 20% off all your purchases.